So I'm gonna just start these are kind of fun pads that we have just to celebrate our 50th anniversary. Some of these will be in the door prizes that we're gonna give out later on. This is just a mixed media pad, which is heavy enough to take a little bit of watercolor or acrylic paint. It's thicker than a drawing paper, so it's just kind of fun. We've got a couple of hundred of these, and when they're gone, they'll be mementos of this year.
Collector's items.
Yeah, collector's items.
Like one of my favorite products of the year, this collapsible brush. Water pot. You can use it for your dog or for watercolor. If you're waiting for this, for anybody who paints by now or likes to go to a coffee shop and sketch in water-based media, like less than $5. Amazing. Great job. Now,
This is an oil paint that we have made for us by Gamblin. We get 500 tubes at a time, so the price is very good. It'll be the cheapest professional white oil paint that we have. It's half zinc and half titanium, and it's made by Gamblin.
Following up on my previous mention on the water-based stuff, the classic Neocolor 2s, everybody loves these. This Caran D'Ache, this Swiss brand, they're water-soluble crayons. They just came out with this palette. This is brand new. I don't know anybody who's even tried it, so I need some of you to try it. The idea is that you use the Caran D'Ache water-based media on it. It has a specific texture that doesn't stain. So you can use your crayons on here to blend together or whatever, take a brush with some water and use it as a palette into your sketchbook. And then it doesn't stain, which I guess is unique, but I don't know until one of you tells me.
We have a lot of cute things in the store that aren't just serious art supplies. This is a pencil case.
And blackly and pencil. Both cute things.
This is an interesting paint. It's called Flash. It's vinyl rather than acrylic. It's water-based like acrylic, but it's much tougher for outdoor use. If you have like an outdoor table that's under a porch that it gets rained on some, but mostly out of the weather, this is a much better choice than acrylic paint. It's very flexible and durable, and it's not as shiny and glossy as regular acrylic paint. It's very matte. So some sculpture artists that do wood sculptures or even steel sculptures will use vinyl on exterior. It works great on inside too. Most of the people that buy it are incorporating it into their artwork because it's very matte if they don't want a glossy look. So this is vinyl flash.
Well, I'll kind of continue on the interesting paint. This is something that's come out in the last 5 years. It's Alpha Enamel. This is an enamel paint, solvent based. Smells really good. The most durable paint in the store by far. Paint metal, glass, appropriate, sculptures and things. We have a display of this stuff. It's amazing if you need to do a mailbox or a car.
It's very shiny, right?
It is, yeah, it's pretty shiny. It's nice.
We have powdered pigments for anybody that wants to make their own paint. Usually it's a watercolor or an oil paint. It would be hard to make an acrylic paint with pigment because you want it to dry the whole time you're trying to make the paint.
We don't work in epoxy.
It's probably not ground fine enough. It's purposefully made a little bit chunky so it's not too dusty. So it's right out of the jar, it's pretty coarse. But what you do is you have a glass plate, and this is a muller, which is rough on the bottom. This is glass muller. So you pour your pigment on the glass, and you grind the pigment with your medium. So it's not like, it wouldn't work by pouring it into your epoxy. It would be like really hard to mix it in. And if you were doing epoxy, it would be wanting to dry out while you're grinding.
So you might mix it into a little bit of a paste, a slurry-ish water, and then add it to the epoxy maybe?
Yeah, I'm not sure, is epoxy, what's the base, is it oh, acetone. So I guess if you ground it in with acetone first to make it liquid, then you could pour that into your epoxy, and then it would stir in better. But this is actually, these are hard to find. So one of our employees, she works with glass, so she made these.
Oh.
So that one of them's real stubby, and this was like a middle one, and then the other one that she makes is taller. But these are about $40. But what's hard to do is to make that little the roughened bottom. But the dry pigments are made on purpose, not too fine, because if they're too dusty and you're inhaling them, that's not good for your lungs. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can make temper with it if you ground it into the binding medium. Yeah,
You grind it in what glass?
the glass.
Or marble?
Yeah, something very smooth, not wood.
Yeah.
Well, so we do carry art resin, which is a two-part epoxy kind of clear coat that came out 5-6 years ago, I guess. That is specifically non-yellowing, unlike some of the more industrial two-part coatings, and also does not smell very bad, low VOC, which is a bummer. And you can tip this, it looks great, but also the claim to fame is it's flexible enough to put on canvas. And you know, it has that beautiful thickness that builds up glossy. So yeah, kind of this would be the epoxy that we carry for coatings.
Here's,
Yeah, can I say something about those epoxies?
yes.
So I teach class and I'm in the resins and I taught here. And there really is a huge difference in the yellowing. This does not rarely yellows. I mean, it's probably gonna take years for you to see any kind of yellowing. They're all gonna yellow. But some of the other stuff you get, I mean, you will see yellowing in a year. And so I got a thing online that showed all the different types and everything, and the art resin came out to be one of the best. And especially if you're working with whites or light colors, that will really show, that's really gonna show what you yellow. If you're using all bright colors, it's not gonna matter. But do use this product, and like you said, it's less toxic, and you can't, I always encourage everybody to wear your mask and do all that, but it really is a much better product than anything else on the market.
Janet, years and years ago, I don't know if it was 20 years ago, 15 years ago, we used to only sell the one in the metal can,
Yeah.
and it was really stinky. And that's the only one we had. It was called Environmental Technologies.
Right,
Nothing
yeah.
environmental about it. That was the name of the company.
Next word.
And then you came in and said, why don't you guys have the newer stuff that everybody's using? It's like, what? So she kind of taught us
Yeah.
what we should have all those years ago, and it's been a really good
Yeah.
tip. Thank you very much, because
It's
we
really-
learn a lot from the artists. A lot of people kind of think that we know everything, but a lot of times we learn things from you guys. This is spiked lavender oil, which is for oil painting. It's very aromatic, it smells really good, but it's actually less harsh on your sinuses and breathing than like turpentine or paint thinner. So this is where a lot of people use Gamsol or Turpenoid for their thinning and solvent cleaning with oil paint. This is a more natural product, but it's not price friendly, but it smells wonderful, and it's very good for cleaning brushes and good for your lungs compared to like paint thinner or turpentine.
We have lots of brushes, obviously. Gamblin came out with a very specific varnish brush. So this is a really nice brush. They have it made in Germany. So for when you're ready to varnish, good value, really good product.
This is marble dust, which a lot of people use if they're making their own gesso or formulas for coating a wooden panel before you paint. For years, we had this available from Fredericks, who is the company that makes all the canvas that's primed. And they've gone through some changes in the last few years where they've discontinued a lot of their traditional kind of products. So for a few years, we didn't even know where to get marble dust. And we finally found a source that we can buy like 50-pound bags. So we have to dispense them ourselves and weigh them in these little baggies because nobody needs 50 pounds of it. But around Spanish market time is when everybody comes looking for this. The guys that do retablos and the traditional Hispanic arts, they'll come looking for marble dust. And for a couple of years, the answer was like, sorry, we don't have any. They couldn't believe it. But the one place that we got it for 40 years from Fredericks, just out of the blue, decided they didn't want to bother making it anymore or offering it anymore. So they're very plain bags, but that's marble dust. Calcium carbonate.
And similarly to our willingness to like break apart things and go through that to make it like feasible for people to buy. Remember that we have small amounts of many different thicknesses of wire when you're ready to hang stuff and you don't want to buy a whole spool from somewhere, and a bunch of hardware back there for molding hooks, D-rings, many different styles. You could just swing in and buy 6. You're done with the project.
This is a new paper pad made in Greece. The cover is made with actual cactus fiber, and part of the paper is made with, they call it upcycled vegetable product. You know, most paper is wood pulp from when they're in a paper mill is tree pulp, tree bark. And this is made with cactus and vegetable fibers.
Well, I'm gonna just stick with the traditional cotton paper. Cotton Muller just came out with this very recently. Looks like a regular hardbound watercolor book, 100% cotton, but the pages are all deckled. They all have that nice torn edge, presents really beautifully. This is really cool.